Hello everyone. In this video series, I'm giving you small tips and tricks on how to improve your performance as a condition virtuoso in raids and strikes. Today we're going to look at weapon swapping. When you swap your weapon, the weapon swap goes on a 10-second cooldown. Swapping your weapon also interrupts your current action, so you have to be careful not to cancel any skills with it. Let's take a look at our two weapon sets. We play an offhand sword on one set and an offhand focus on the other set. Because we have the same weapon in the main hand both times, for the dagger skills it does not matter which weapon set we are on, as we always have access to them. However, the offhand skills cannot be used on the opposite set. This has an immediate consequence. You want to always be on the correct weapon set when a weapon skill comes off cooldown. Your goal as a condition virtuoso is to cast your focus 5 and your sword 5 as often as possible, because they are very strong. In order to find out what this means for weapon swapping, let's take a look at some numbers. Considering the effect of alacrity, your sword 5 has roughly a cooldown of 10 seconds, whereas your focus 5 has a cooldown of around 17 seconds. This means if you swap away from the sword set right after casting a sword 5, you have exactly enough time to get back for the next sword 5. This naturally puts two sword 5 casts onto your sword set, one right at the start and one right at the end. In order to cast two focus 5 each round, you could stay longer on the focus set and loop around in 27 seconds. However, the long-term continuation of that is even slower. The next time you swap back to focus, your focus 5 will still be on a short cooldown. Overall, you could loop around once every 34 seconds for two focus 5 casts and two sword 5 casts. That is to say, 0.6 focus 5 and 0.6 sword 5 per 10 seconds. Or, the other option would be you stay 10 seconds on the focus set and 10 seconds on the sword set, one focus 5 and two sword 5 in 20 seconds total. That is to say, we have 0.5 focus 5 and one sword 5 per 10 seconds. As you can see, the first rotation with the two focus 5 casts has slightly more focus casts per time, but it has way fewer sword casts. Overall, the second rotation is much better, so it's what I want you to use. One focus 5 and two sword 5, looping around with weapon swap off cooldown. Every second you delay a weapon swap reduces the phantasms you can cast per 10 seconds. For example, if you routinely find yourself overstay on the focus set by just 3 seconds every loop, you will only get 0.43 focus 5s and 0.87 sword 5s per 10 seconds, which is already a considerable DPS loss. Now I have a question for you. How does your heal skill, Signet of the Ether, fit into this weapon swapping logic? If you feel like you have a good answer, please tell me about it in the comments. Now I don't want this video to be just theoretical, so in the following clip we are going to look at a Sabir kill. And here you can take a look at how well I'm following my own advice of weapon swapping off cooldown. So keep an eye on the skill bar at the bottom of the screen and check out whether I am weapon swapping back to the sword whenever it is available, and whether I am using my sword 5 right at the end of the weapon set again and swap back to focus immediately. So here you can see I had a small delay in the sword 5 because I was reviving a player, which is fine, I suppose. And swapping back to focus and then swapping back to sword was slightly delayed already. So you can see that in a stressful situation where lots of mechanics are going on, even I am sometimes making mistakes. And here I make an even worse mistake. My sword 5 was cancelled by the weapon swap, which is a kind of a big deal. Because for one, I spent some time casting it. And then I cancelled its effect fully, which is not good, obviously. During the CC bar, I still try to continue my rotation, so I still do the weapon swapping. Because We can still apply condis to Sabir, so it's still a good idea to keep doing condition damage. But here again, you can see when killing the Wisp, I was not really weapon swapping optimally. And now I'm kind of out of the rotation. The weapon swap was off cooldown, which is good. And when going into the Ward, played this fine as well. And this weapon swap was quite clean, though I got dazed, so my sword 5 was interrupted. Which is certainly not ideal. And that's the end of the kill. So let us recap what we've seen here. I have cast 8 sword 5 and 10 focus 5 in 120 seconds, which puts our average per 10 seconds at 0.66 sword 5s and 0.83 focus 5. Compared to the golem rotation, which would average 0.92 sword 5 and 0.92 focus 5 per 10 seconds if the golem died after 120 seconds. The damage loss from those errors, from this dark difference, especially in the sword department, but also in my focus 5 casts, is considerable. The next time I am playing Condition Virtuoso on Sabir, I will try to pay closer attention to my weapon swaps as to not repeat those mistakes. So that's it for this short video. Today you have seen the importance of weapon swapping off cooldown. If you are a Condi Virtuoso, give it a try. I see you next time.